Welcome everyone to Profiles in Resilience, our DRI series where we go in depth with fascinating individuals within the resilience community. I am Andrea Abrams, back with Nigel, our show mascot, one of your DRI instructors and an MBCP. And today we are thrilled to have with us Jennifer Scott, a CBCP and a Senior Crisis Management Specialist with Ameren. Welcome, Jennifer.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about my journey in becoming a champion for business continuity management.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you. This is so exciting. And I think the first topic that we want to dive into is the Women in Business Continuity Management Scholarship. I'm so impressed and proud of you that you were able to pursue that. Can you please talk us through how you heard about it and what your experience was with that?
Okay. My name is Jennifer Scott. I've over 19 years of professional experience in the insurance, risk, and utility industry. My most recent opportunity has come about with working for Ameren. I was asked to join our crisis management team and become a crisis management specialist, where I would be the admin for our emergency communication system, as well as a preparedness admin for our preparedness program. And through some transformation in the department, I was later selected to run the business continuity program. Knowing that I wanted to excel in this role, I turned to DRI International for some guidance, as they are the leader in the industry. And after doing some research, I looked into the WBCM and noticed they offered a scholarship program for individuals like myself that needed an opportunity to go into this role. And as with anything I do, I want to excel in any new role. So that is why I not only wrote the essay, applied to hopefully have the opportunity to get into the scholarship program and receive the opportunity to take the BCLE 2000 exam and get my CBCP. I was a little nervous. This was during a transformational time in my life. We had a major life change, which launched me into becoming the whole household leader for our income. So I saw this when the opportunity arose with my company to lead the business continuity program. I saw this as a major opportunity for me to take that opportunity to excel in this field. And I just saw that with DRI, I had that opportunity I wouldn't normally have. It provided me the economical opportunity that wasn't available for me to excel at that time, as well as the resources I needed to become a SME in the area. So I ultimately wrote my essay and applied for the WBCM scholarship and was later notified that I was accepted. I quickly signed up for the class and was able to take the class as well as pass the exam and ultimately receive my CBCP.
That is such an inspirational story. Congratulations, Jennifer. And I feel like your story is such a fascinating one too, because you are personally very resilient. So how ironic that you're in a profession that's all about resilience. Your resilience just really comes through in your story. And that is one thing that I would like our viewers to really feel like they get to know you as a person about. Can you please share with us, what is it that drew you to this space? I noticed that you pivoted your career from insurance into the resilience space. Can you talk with us about what drew you to this career direction?
I've always found myself as being knocked down and wanting to get back up. So I also was drawn to, I've had so many times in my career where I've found a roadblock or something that I had to keep going. Sometimes not every staircase was my staircase. And what drew me to the resiliency sector was I wanted to help others keep going as well. I wanted the opportunity to become a leader, a spokesperson for not only our company, but my program, to become more resilient and lead the way to being an industry leader for a business continuity program and overall resilient program for the company or for the industry. And but what also drew this to my attention, I have 2 young girls, so I want them to see their mom using her knowledge and excelling in a career path that they could also mimic down the road and use my guidance and me as a role model to kind of help lead their way into young adulthood and how they want to move forward in their lives too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I think for a lot of those of you who are viewing our webinar, most of us are in the resilient space because we have a heart for public service and really caring about others. But I think Jennifer brings up such a key concept, which is we're also thinking about the next generation. Jennifer's thinking about her wonderful daughters, and we're going to circle back to them in this interview in a little bit here because I know they're very special. I think that Jennifer raises a really important point too, which is for everyone on this planet, but particular Jennifer's daughters and other young people, they've just had the monumental COVID-19 global pandemic experience. And so whatever we can do to help bolster their resilience to build on that foundation will be wonderful for our collective future. So Jennifer, thank you for your authenticity and sharing that. Now, when we go back to the Women in Business Continuity Scholarship, you mentioned that you wrote your essay, you heard back, you were able to use the scholarship funds to enroll in your program for CBCP. Can you please talk us through how the scholarship application process felt for you? How did it go? Is it, for those thinking of doing it, how do you have to plan the timing? Is it like a 6 months in advance thing? Do you find out the prior year? Did it take a long time to go through the logistics?
No, it did not. It took some preparatory time. I did have to do the research. I was able to draft my letter for the committee to review for my application, documenting my experience and my need for the scholarship. So that did take some preparatory time, about 2 weeks of research and drafting for my application. And then after submittal, it was just about a month-long process before I heard back. So when I heard back, it was a very quick turnaround, and I was able to quickly transition and move and learn and add the knowledge from the BCLE 2000 class pretty quickly. So the complete turnaround from myself finding out about this to receiving my CBCP was about 3 months.
Wow, congratulations again. That's really remarkable. So for those watching, we're looking about a quarter of really focused intention on Jennifer's part has manifested this amazing new path in her career. And the CBLE 2000 class is, of course, near and dear to my heart because I am one of our DRI instructors, and that's one of the classes I teach. So I'd love to hear from your student perspective, especially for those on the fence out watching who are thinking of taking that class. Can you please tell us your impressions of the class, how you found it, any suggestions you have for people who are thinking of taking the class themselves?
Of course, I found that class very educational. It was very interactive. It was nice to have others from similar backgrounds and industries in the class to be able to not only communicate with, network with, but learn from as well. They've had different experiences, and they were able to help open up ideas for me to bring back to my program. The educator that led the program was very knowledgeable and was able to present the information in a way that was so helpful for me. He was able to pivot many times to help others in the class that were needing to learn a different way. He was willing to stay after, come in before to share his personal experience in the industry. So it was extremely helpful, and I felt very involved in the class. We had a lot of breakout sessions where we got to build different aspects of the program out and learn directly from an industry leader as the educator, as the proctor of the class.
That's really cool to hear. I'm so pleased. Did you end up taking a Zoom session or did you take an in-person course?
So I ended up taking a Zoom session due to logistics. I was down at the DRI International Conference in Austin, and I had to take it when I got back. So I was able to do it from my home, from the comfort of my home. I had the time if I needed to get up, take a break for a minute, come back. That was allowed during the class. So it was very relaxed. It allowed for a very comfortable learning experience, especially for those that during COVID weren't really comfortable quite yet going back into a large facility or classroom to learn the material. So it was a great opportunity for me to learn, and DRI made it so great by having so many opportunities, learning opportunities and ways of learning, and Zoom was just the fit for me.
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that. I feel that Zoom is a really inclusive option as well, because I know when I teach the class, I have students from all over the place, literally sometimes other countries in completely different hemispheres. It really has opened the platform. And then, of course, DRI offers the in-house, in-person model too, for those who prefer that. So I am so delighted to hear that you had a great class experience, and your instructor being wonderful is no surprise to me. We have a great coach that works with the instructors. So DRI really is committed to the educational quality, and I'm delighted to hear that that was your experience. So if we take our viewers, Jennifer, through your life cycle with your scholarship to taking the class, I'm glad it was a positive experience. The next thing I would like you to please talk us through is certification process. I'm sure you remember before you were certified, because I'm on the receiving end of this a lot as an instructor, it can feel a little bit intimidating to people. It feels like, what, these steps and this and the essays. So can you please break it down for us? Like, what was your experience? And you obviously succeeded in getting through it. Any suggestions you have for others who are trying to get the courage up to take the plunge and go for it?
Absolutely. So the route I took on this was knowing that I was eventually going to apply for my CBCP after this class. I took notes specific to what I needed to look for and draft my essays around for the CBCP application during the class. So I took key information from the different sessions that we were in and tried to apply that to my knowledge of my current position and my current program that I was running, and tried to relate those key topics back to real life experiences. And so I would just take notes during the class and align those key concepts back to real life experiences. And I was able to quickly draft those and add them to the application process for the CBCP. So it was not intimidating at that point. It was just more of being prepared and knowing kind of what to expect during that class and what your end goal is. So having a plan, being prepared, and then reaching that final goal. So just setting out those steps for myself helped out quite a bit. It did sound intimidating at first, but once you go through the class, you're given the tools to excel. DRI sets you up for success.
That's wonderful. And what was the timeline from when you took the class? Did you take the exam the day after class? Did you wait and study more prior to taking it? When did you file your essays? Just to help people visualize what your progression.
So it was, we ended the class the day before I took the exam. We had the opportunity to take the exam that evening. And I needed a little additional time before taking it. So I studied a lot that evening and was prepared the next day to take it. There was just a lot of terminology and stuff that I wanted to refresh, some of the key components of the class that I wanted to go back over. And prior to the test, I was able to, after the class, prior to the test, if I had a question, I was able to reach out to the teacher that was providing the class and ask additional questions. And I was able to go back and review my notes. But the documents that DRI provides you to get through the class gives you a good outline and tool to prepare yourself for the test. So by taking those notes, having the program guide to take the test, I was able to take the test the next day. The test took probably the full amount of time just because I wanted to make sure that I had all the correct answers. It is a difficult material, but with all the tools you're provided through the class and prior to the class and after, it sets you up to be able to take that and be successful in the test. I was able to find out almost immediately that I had passed the test. I think it was the next Monday that I received notice that I passed. And then from there, I decided I was wanting to automatically start the essay process. While everything was fresh in my mind, I wanted to continue the process. So all in all, it was less than a week from start to finish of starting or ending the class, taking the test, finding out I passed, to submitting the essays, and then getting the referrals from my past leadership to give me a letter of recommendation on the different aspects, and then submitting it. And then another couple days prior to hearing back that I received my CBCP.
Yeah, that's just the best feeling. And I think what comes through, Jennifer, in your story again and again, especially for those watching, Jennifer is not only super resilient, but you're also willing to put in the hard work and work really hard. And with that formula of brilliance, work ethic, and resilience, it's obvious that you're on an amazing trajectory. And I am excited to see what else the future holds for you. I want to hear what it's like now for your daughters, for your family, for yourself to go through this journey and become a certified business continuity professional, which is the globally known household name and certification for this industry. What does that mean to you? What has that meant for your family?
As you know, as you can see, I'm already tearing up as I'm going to talk about this. It's meant so much. It has really unlocked my full potential. It has allowed me to make a real difference, not only in the field of business continuity, but to my family. My kids are 13 and 9, so they're at a very transitional part of their life. So having the ability for them to see their mom work hard, put in the hours at night to study, sit through long classes. They see someone that is taking a bad experience that we're in during our life and turn it around. And it has transformed them not only in their personal lives, but both of my kids play travel softball. And they know you're not always going to win. You're not always going to make the team. But if you work hard and keep going, you're going to find the right opportunity for you. You're going to find the right door, the right staircase for you. And that's really what DRI and WBCM committee has helped me do, is transform my career and make it possible for me to lead my business continuity program into the next chapter of moving it to a more resilient program. I'm so proud to be part of a growing community of female leaders who are making significant contributions to the field of business continuity management. So my daughters see a group of, and they've sat behind me in these meetings and listen to the conversations I'm having with the other strong women in the industry, and seeing them lead programs and businesses into success. So it's leading by example that's led my kids into also being leaders in their private lives, in school, in softball. So I'm so proud of that aspect of it all, because I've been able to be a role model for them, not just as their mother, but they get to see me in a professional light too. And not just mom's doing everything for us, but she's also working hard to get us to where we need to be in life.
It sounds like all of this has been really life-changing for each of you.
It really has. It has.
Yeah. What I wanted to point out, that you're really extraordinary as a parent as well. I mean, the fact that you're so intentional about the way that you want to raise your girls, and the fact that you're intentionally creating this trajectory for them and these experiences that you want them to have. There are a lot of people out there who are doing their best, but they just haven't gotten there yet to that level of intentionality that you're putting into your parenting and into your journey. I think that this is a very empowering story, Jennifer. So for all of us out there that are trying to help inspire young people, whether it's our children, niece, nephew, or other young people that we mentor, what I'm taking from what you're saying, Jennifer, is that the power of the role modeling is supremely powerful and life-changing.
Absolutely. One of the things that I always tell my kids, the struggle you're in today is developing a strength that you need for tomorrow. It's no matter what life gives you, you can always turn it around. You can always find something positive out of every situation, and you can always turn inward and build yourself upward towards a higher goal. Or you can always reach out also. It's not just for you, and that's so important as part of the program and part of the watching the WBCM committee. It's a group effort, and so when my kids are part of their team also, I want them to be a team leader. And again, they may not always win the game, but I want them to be the ones in the dugout cheering their team on. I want them to be their loudest advocate for anyone that is struggling, winning or struggling on the field, but also when they win, and just leading by example, learning that from their mom, but also implementing it in their daily life has been so important to me. And seeing that transformation in my girls, just from this small experience, it's not a small experience by any means, but during that short time that it took me to move from not being a business continuity certified CBCP to a certified, it showed them that anything they put their mind to, they can achieve. Anything they work hard for, they can achieve. And they can also be a champion for others that want to do things as well. Some things just seem intimidating at first, but once you break them down and piece them together and set your mind to it, you can make a hard situation a lot more digestible. Finding a mentor. I have found a mentor in a member of the committee to look up to. And it's watching how she was able to work through things and hearing her personal experience. I see that, and you may not always know that that you have people watching or you're a mentor to someone. Sometimes you're that silent mentor, and just by your example alone can help someone move to that next level.
Thank you for sharing all of your authentic insights, Jennifer. And I would like to call out for those watching that we have a lot of people in the resilience community who lead teams. And so even if you're not a parent or an aunt or uncle, even if you're not directly working with young people, all of the concepts that Jennifer is inspiring with us are all relevant to when we're trying to lead teams. And even if we don't have the title of executive over the business line, we can lead where we are using the concepts that Jennifer is teaching us about authenticity and being a role model. So I want to ask you now about the fact that we have our DRI 2024 conference coming up in New Orleans. You've mentioned earlier in our conversation that you did attend Austin in 2023. That was a pleasure to be there. I taught a workshop there with my colleagues Stephen Lee and Dave Chandler on creating compelling tabletop exercises. So I hear that you were able to have some family interaction with the conference as well in Austin, and we'd love to hear more about that.
Oh, absolutely. I was fortunate enough to bring my children with me that time. They were off school and were able to have their dad come with, and got to watch their mom interact professionally with others in the industry. And they got to see me again in a different light. They usually see me as the mom that's leading the house and doing things around the house or driving them where they need to be. They got to see mom dressed up professionally, going and interacting and going to these conferences and meetings. They thought it was the coolest thing. As a 9 and 13-year-old, getting to go and experience that and seeing their mom at that level, it was one of their most fond memories they've had with me, just because they got to see me in that professional light that they don't always see me in. Because prior to COVID, I would go into the office every day. Mom's getting dressed up and ready to go and have a meeting. This time they both got to see what I do, how I interact and how I'm going to these professional breakout sessions. And their favorite was the gala. They got to see mom get dressed up and go and be fancy for a night and interact with everyone on a different level, even again, and meet so many influential people in the industry. So that experience was so cool for them. And others in the at the conference were so inviting and took my kids in like they were their own, enjoyed spending time with them out by the pool when they were down there. So it was great to see what a community DRI has and how inclusive everyone is here. It was a really great experience for my whole family.
I love hearing that. I hope that I get to meet everybody in person in New Orleans next March. We'll have to start planning now. Did you do any fun things outside of the conference while you guys were in Austin, that they get to try any of the famous barbecues that Austin is so known for, or explore any of the Texas? Have your girls been to Texas before that time?
They have not been to Texas. So I have been to Austin before, so I was familiar with some of the local barbecues. So we did get to go to a couple local barbecue restaurants. But the biggest highlight for them is they got to go and see a Longhorn softball game. And with both of my girls being huge travel softball fans, and they both play. And my youngest 9-year-old, Brielle, wants to be a future Longhorn. So I surprised her by calling, and she didn't know we were going. And I was able to get some general admission tickets for a game in an afternoon prior to the conference. And she was able to see Bevo and get to go see another thing of her favorite women leading, so it was great to see. It was the smile on her face to see that future team, seeing that environment of, just a group of women that are just strong women out there leading by example, and watching their face light up when they actually got to see some of the players afterward and get autographs on their hats was such a cool experience. So that was one of hopefully a core memory they're able to take with them for the rest of their life.
Oh, I've no doubt. And I'm totally impressed by your next level thoughtfulness that you are able to put all of that together. And any of us who are parents, caregivers, or have other family members to coordinate, shout out to all of the logistical planning. That's not to be dismissed. Also, all of the logistics that it takes to get multiple people headed in the same direction. And I sort of see this as a learning vacation. It sounds like you guys did. There was this amazing learning time at the conference. It became a priceless family memory. Just really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So you've raised the
Absolutely.
bar for the other parents out there. We'll have to see what kind of creative ideas people can come up with to create those memories. And, you know, there are some of us who, especially sometimes our careers can involve really long hours, a lot of dedication. That's why I picked up on the thread of thoughtfulness, because you have managed to make a lot of impact with your girls, even with your busy, demanding career and work schedule. The way that you're able to prioritize them and make sure you're meeting their needs and building this beautiful foundation for them for their future. All of those are equally impressive as your CBCP and the other skills that you bring to the resilience industry. So I think it's amazing and highly admirable, very inspirational for all of us. And speaking of how amazing you clearly are and all of the bright trajectory that you have, what's in the future for you? What's next for
Um,
Jennifer? Like, what do you see as some of the goals you have down the line? And I think that part of this is manifesting. Part is I want our viewers to be able to get some inspiration for what's possible, and also for your allies in the community. That's what I love about DRI. You've already picked up on it. Like, we all want to help each other get to our goals. So what's next for you? What are your goals?
um, So after, receiving my CBCP, I was able to implement new strategies and procedures that have allowed our program to be better prepared and aligned, and moving from that current state to the next state and moving to that overall organizational resiliency. So, and highlighting the need for our business continuity program. So what I see in the future for our program is becoming a more centralized focus for the company, and becoming more of a leader for the overall organizational resiliency platform at our utility. Again, wanting to lead into the next phase of our program, moving it to be an industry leading program. So I see myself in the next 5 years, I want to be the director of the program and manage the different areas that feed into our program.
That's wonderful. And I feel that it's a safe bet to say there's very high odds that all of that plus more is going to happen based on your demonstrated master strategy of willing to work hard, talent, grit, resilience, thoughtfulness. It's all coming together for you. And we are so fortunate to have you part of the DRI family. And Jennifer, I have enjoyed talking with you so much today. I want to give you open forum now. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our community of viewers that didn't get surfaced through the questions that I asked? We'd love to have you share anything else you'd like to that's on your mind.
No, this has just really been life-changing for me, not only personally, but professionally. It helped me during a really hard time in our personal lives. It just allowed me a way to become that leader, not only in my family, but also in my professional career. And I just want to thank the committee members and the women of the of the WBCM for not only inviting me to receive that scholarship, inviting me to talk with them, and inspiring me just in life itself through all of the conversations I've had. I just want to help and inspire others to follow their dreams and become other champions in their programs and in the business continuity industry, and just never give up. Always be resilient. I know we talk about it a lot in business continuity and in the industry, but resilience comes from within too. You find the strength from within. You know, that saying, fall down 7 times, you get up 8. It's really true. Just keep going. Things change all the time. And just find that right path, find the right journey. And I'm happy to discuss with anyone my journey in more detail and help, lead DRI and others through that scholarship program and help champion the program. So thank you again to everyone that allowed me to share my journey. And I look forward to working with more of you in the future.
Oh, thanks, Jennifer, and congratulations again on your scholarship and all of your amazing success. So everyone, thanks for joining us on this episode of Profiles in Resilience. I look forward to seeing all of you at our DRI 2024 conference in New Orleans. I'm Andrea Abrams, your host, and we've had today Jennifer Scott, CBCP Senior Crisis Management Specialist with Ameren and recipient of the Women in Business Continuity Management Scholarship. Thank you so much again, Jennifer, for joining us, and I'll see each of you next time.